This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today I'd like to speak about the honor I was given to speak to the California Conference of Arson Investigators on how insurers and arson investigators have taken away the profit from those who engage in arson-for-profit schemes. On October 19, 2023, I had the honor to speak to the California Conference of Arson Investigators on how insurers and arson investigators have taken the profit from arson-for-profit schemes and gave some police and insurance arson investigators information on how to increase the ability to avoid arson-for-profit schemes. I learned as much from my audience as they learned from me, and firefighters, arson investigators, and federal investigators learned about the rights and duties of insurers and arson investigators when fraud, by definition, arson-for-profit, is suspected. Part of my talk included that most structures are insured against the peril of fire. Arson damages property by fire. Arson is not, as most people expect, excluded by any insurance policy. Few insurance companies are equipped to deal with an arson-for-profit. Arson is a crime involving fire. Damage by fire is indemnified by insurance. There is no arson defense in an insurance policy, only fraud. An arson fire is only a fire, a named peril, the risk of loss of which is insured. So I explained to the investigators the importance of parts of California statutes, like California Penal Code Section 550A, that makes it unlawful to do any of the following, or to aid, abet, solicit, or conspire with any person to do any of the following. 1. Knowingly present or cause to be presented any false or fraudulent claim for the payment of a loss or injury. Or California Penal Code Section 550 sub 5, knowingly prepare, make, or subscribe any writing with the intent to present or use it or to allow it to be presented in support of any false or fraudulent claim. It is also unlawful to do or to knowingly assist or conspire with any person to do any of the following. 1. Present or cause to be presented any written or oral statement as part of or in support of or opposition to a claim for payment or other benefit pursuant to an insurance policy, knowing that the statement contains any false or misleading information concerning any material fact, or prepare or make any written or oral statement that is intended to be presented to any insurer, knowing that the statement contains any false or misleading information concerning any material fact. And I explained that the word any is the key when investigating an arson-for-profit, and explained one case where on a search warrant of a replacement house, an insured was found to have made a claim for a duck decoy and a set of Encyclopedia Britannica that were all still in his replacement home and therefore not damaged by or destroyed by the fire. That resulted in a conviction of insurance fraud. I also explained California Insurance Code Section 1871.1 that provides that insurers and their agents while they are investigating a suspected fraudulent claim, must have access to all relevant public records, and therefore fire department personnel are obligated to assist and provide information to insurers and their agents in the case of a suspected fraudulent arson-for-profit, and that Section 1875.2 provides that any insurer that has reason to suspect that a fire loss was caused by an incendiary means must furnish the authorized agency, like the fire department, with all relevant information acquired during its investigation of the fire loss and cooperate in an investigation by the authorized agency. And California Insurance Code Section 1875.3 that requires the authorized agency, the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's department, any authorized agency must notify the insurer if known, and at the expense of the insurer whenever it has reason to believe that a fire loss was not accidentally caused. And the agency is required to also release to the claimant insurer specific information regarding the fire loss at the earliest time possible, unless it determines that an ongoing investigation would be jeopardized. And I reminded them of a case of mine where a firefighter arson investigator provided me with 72 photographs taken at the fire scene, with smoke still coming up off the ground as the fire had just been extinguished. And those photographs established the falsity of an insurance fraud that resulted in the arrest and conviction of the insured, and the insured providing, as part of his required restitution and as part of his probation, a check paying for all of the monies expended by the insurer in the investigation. And the California Insurance Code Section 1875.4 that states that in the absence of fraud or malice, no insurer or person acting in his behalf furnishes information, it is not liable for any damages. It is immune from damages in any civil court for providing that information to the authorized agency in the statute, making it absolutely clear that the act of furnishing information required pursuant to the statute shall not constitute an act of fraud or malice. I then provided about an hour and a half of arson-for-profit schemes that were defeated by arson investigators working together with insurers and the investigators and claims people working with the insurers. Details are available from some of my books, like Insurance Fraudsters Deserve No Quarter, The Examination Under Oath to Resolve Insurance Claims, Insurance Fraud Volumes 1 and 2, 2nd edition, and Fictionalized True Insurance Crime Books, all of which are available at Amazon.com, either as a Kindle book, a paperback, or a hardcover, and are very reasonably priced. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zalma.com/blog, and you can subscribe to the blog and you will receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week, and also access to the more than 4,600 blog posts. Please, if you found this video to be of any interest to you and your friends, tell your friends and colleagues about the blog and the videos and let them subscribe. You can also subscribe to the videos on YouTube or on rumble.com, and if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button on YouTube or the thumbs up button on Rumble, and please subscribe to both videos. And if you're interested in more detailed information about insurance, insurance law, insurance claims, and insurance fraud, please consider for a very small fee subscribing to my Substack publications or my locals community. Thank you for your attention.